Hi everyone, this is Sandy Reese with StampinCrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks so much for joining me for another Facebook Live. I have a beautiful birthday card to share with you today. But before we get started, I've been working on craft show items. I do a big craft show, which is actually a week from tomorrow it starts. So because I was so busy, I'm a little behind and will not have as much as I normally do, but that's okay. So I've been working frantically to try to get some items done. I just wanted to share with you what I did yesterday. I made these cute little mini coffee cups, and I put, I get the cappuccino mixes or hot chocolate mix to go in here, so you don't have to have a K-cup. You could just dump that in a cup of hot water and then decorate it. So we cover the cup, and then I did a whole bunch of these, all different kinds, and these are all retired products which I keep that make great little craft show treats. So that one, and then let me show you this one. I had found these blocks, and they're shaped like this, and they had letters on them, just like one letter. So you buy a bunch, spell out your name or whatever you want to do. And I found these at the craft store on clearance, so I bought all of them. I think there were 20. And my intention had been to spell out the word home and then replace the O with, 12 different little things, for one for each month that you could Velcro on and off. However, these are not wide enough to use the dies that I want to use. These are retired dies, but I love these. I use these all the time. And home will not fit on here. So I had to go with plan B, which was to do joy. Now this was my sample. It is not centered. As you can see, I centered my O on this one. But the J is much thinner than my Y, so with the rest of them, I centered the word, not the O. And then these were from, that die set we had the last couple of years. It's retired, but it's super cute. And my husband die cut a bunch of these for me this morning so I can put them together. And each one will be different. So this is my favorite, the buffalo check. I did several of these, and so I'll do different ribbons. I have some trinkets left over from different, different years, and so I'll be working and finishing those up today. And then next year, I'm going to have my husband cut me some of these that are about 2 inches wider. So they'll basically be about 6 by 6, but in house shape. And then we're going to do the word home, and then I'll make the different little centers to go in there. So we will see how these go this year, and then we'll make the other ones next year. So lots of fun things. If you were in the Northeast Arkansas area or Memphis, or even Little Rock, or, within a couple hour drive, I would encourage you to come see Little Bit of Christmas at Arkansas State. It's a 3-day show. There are hundreds of vendors, some commercial vendors, mostly handmade crafts. So, and they're really, really good crafts. So I would encourage people to come because it is just so much fun. Okay, let's get started. All right, so what I'm using today is the Abigail Rose Suite, and the stamp set and the dies, and I also have the flower and the ribbon, or the DSP, flower DSP, and the ribbon. So we're gonna make a pretty birthday card. I thought I'd give a little break from all the holiday stuff, and we'll do some different projects this week, and then we're gonna start with some Christmas stuff next week. Okay, so our card base is going to be Early Espresso. Let's grab our bone folder here. And then I'm using this designer paper. It's the gray and white on one side, but I love this crumb cake and espresso on this side. but I want this to pop a little bit. So if you look at it like that, it looks nice, but if we add, hold on, that doesn't look like the right size. Not quite. We're going to cut that down just a little bit. Actually, this isn't the right size, but that's okay. We're going to cut it down just a bit. And then we have some vanilla for the inside. Let's grab our paper trimmer. Let's see how wide this is. I feel like this was a piece that I thought was going to be right. It's 2 inches, and then this is 2 3/4. So this should have been 2 1/2, but that's okay. We'll cut down our vanilla to 2 1/4. 2 1/4. And that will fit our designer paper. You know, when you cut paper, you usually have some left over unless you're cutting it in, like, you know, even amounts. And so when you do that for class, if I was cutting this at 2 1/2, I'd have extra left over, which is what this is. And that's okay, because you can just adjust your measurements a little bit and use your extra pieces left over. Okay, so this is one project we had done in card class. Now this is 5 1/2 wide, so it's the same width as the card front. Let's see, I think I like this way going up better. I'm going to just kind of center this. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Okay, I'm going to stamp this before I glue it down though, because we always stamp and then glue. So I have a piece of the ribbon, and this is, I don't know if it's natural or linen or what's it called. Let's see. I love this. It was actually on a back order for quite a while, but it's back in. Natural finish ribbon. It's 7/8 of an inch wide. I'm going to flag the ends. This is the easiest way to flag ends on a ribbon. Fold it in half. Get your ribbon scissors and then cut it at an angle like that. Oh, I felt a little string, but then you get a nice even cut. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this side. Let's see how long we want this to be. I want it within the card so it doesn't stick out. Okay, whoops, I did it the wrong way. See, look what happens. All right, let's try this the other way. So if you want a pointy ribbon, that's what you do. All right, let's grab a little tear and tape, and we're going to adhere the ribbon with some tear and tape. We'll just put that right there. Peel that off and stick our ribbon on right in the center. All right, super easy. Okay, now let's grab, we've got a little piece of vanilla, and we're going to grab this stamp from the stamp set, just this little single flower, and some early espresso ink. We're going to stamp this on here. We're going to die cut this so we don't have to worry about getting it straight. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my inside since I have my ink open. I'm doing happy birthday, so I'm going to write, let's see, we're going to practice it over here, make sure we get it straight. It's going to be fab. All right, while I'm doing that, let's just stamp a little flower down there, and then let's decorate our envelope. Cute. Okay. So in a couple of my classes, sometimes we all try to see how cute we can make our envelopes. I'm going to use a little bit of Wink of Stella, and what this is doing is it's also coloring in, using the ink to kind of color in the flower. Now the best results come when you do this pretty quickly after you stamp. If you wait a little bit longer, it won't blend quite so much. And some colors blend more than others. But I wanted a little bit of color in here. Very sparkly. Let's go ahead and do this one too while we're at it. So how many of you have Wink of Stella's, you know, like 6 of them that are like almost all out? Probably several of you. I never know which one I'm gonna get. Okay, wipe that off, make sure there's no ink there. Isn't that pretty? What happened here? I got a smudge, that's okay. All right, so let's glue this inside and get this out of the way. Make sure we glue it right side up. Okay. Cute, it's going to be fab. Okay, let's die cut this flower. Now in the dies, we have some detail dies, and then we have a couple of outline dies. Now we don't have one that fits this flower separately, but we have this big one that cuts out a pattern in the designer paper, but it also cuts out right here. So we can cut the individual flower with the big one. Let's grab our die cutting machine and just get this lined up here. Gotta twist it just a little bit. All right, you can also cut it out by hand if you want. Either way. But this makes it nice and easy. All right. Pop that out. Okay. Let's bring our card in now. For our sentiment, we have the happy. We're using this happy birthday, and I had pre-die cut a little label with the, what are these called? They are called the stitched shapes. What are they? You know, they have the circles, the squares. I'll put it on my blog. I get stylish shapes. That's it. I knew I'd get there eventually. Stylish shapes. So I pre-cut and just stamped with Versamark and heat embossed with white just to save a little time since we were already doing die cutting. And I'm going to adhere this with a little bit of tear and tape because I'm sticking this on the ribbon. I don't normally put things on ribbon because they don't always stick well, but if you're going to do it, use the tear and tape. There we go, and that is on there really well. Okay, so I have this, and I want to just kind of overlap that and pop that up. Okay, whoop. Let's see. I'm just going to add 2, I think, because we're going to add a little bit more on here. So I have die cut a couple of the detailed dies. I did this flower right here, and then we have a single flower. So I've done one of each, and you want to make sure you get all the little pieces out of there, or you can leave them in, it's up to you. Aren't those pretty? They're just so delicate looking. Okay, what I want to do is pop this in here. All right, so I'm going to just take off the bottom so it fits a little better. I'm going to have this one kind of coming up on the top. So let's just put a little bit of glue. Whoops, all right, I've got a mess here. You could also use the adhesive sheets. I always forget to do it until after while I'm trying to glue, and I think, why didn't I use adhesive sheets? But I ask that every time, so now I don't worry about it. you know, and when you're doing this, the less glue you use, the better. Just a little bit. See how little I used? That looks like a blob, but it's flat, so it's not that much. All right, and that will dry clear. And then we're going to pop this one out of the bottom. Let's take that long stem off and put a little glue here. Okay, and then just, I could put a little bit around. And then kind of pop that up. I'm even gonna stick that one under the ribbon. All right, cute. All we're gonna do next is add some pearls. I'm looking for this right here in front of me. I think I'm just going to do, let's do a medium, and a small. Right there. That looks like an iridescent pearl. I don't know, maybe it's just my lighting. And that's it. Isn't that pretty? Who wouldn't love to get one of these? And you know, it's the holidays, but we all still have birthdays. You know, still birthdays coming up, so we have to keep going with our birthday cards. This is a pretty elegant one. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will post measurements and supplies on my blog. If you would like to place an order, I will also post a link below. And we're still doing the 12 weeks of Christmas. We've only done 5, so we have 7 more to go. So make sure to subscribe to my email newsletter. It's the link is below as well. And I appreciate you guys for stopping by. I will see you on Saturday. See you Saturday. All right, bye-bye.